Welcome to Red Tow. Let me this time have a bit of a chat about why I chose this 8x4 Argosy and this configuration to create our next tow truck. Welcome to the Argosy Project. We have spent 2022 and 2023 with building our Titan tow truck. We've learned a lot from that. That is now fully up and running and working. It's always better to have two similar units but complementary. So my thoughts were, when selecting the next type of vehicle for our next tow trucks, the requirements were as such. Well, first of all, because we are Melbourne based and mostly do metropolitan work, even though my Titan is actually about 1.5 feet shorter wheelbase than most other Australian heavy recovery tow trucks, in Melbourne it's really still a little bit too large at times. For an experienced operator, it's not a big deal, but if I ever wanted to get a rookie operator or driver, would want to teach them, I would want to make their job a little bit easier. So consequently, I have purchased this 8x4 Argosy, which for an 8x4 is still a long wheelbase, but compared to a Titan or other tow trucks, it is a much shorter wheelbase. And because you got a twin steer, the pivoting point and the turning circle therefore for this truck is much shorter than a 6x4 extended chassis long bonnet long nose unit. So number one is the maneuverability. The other reason why I was looking for another tow truck is because of the regional work, regional and interstate work, and that is long distance and very often a bit more lightweight, not so much a recovery type, but it's just pretty much a first time. So let's talk about the configuration of this truck. What's going on here? So as much as it looks fairly decent and big over the twin steer, that's because of the large cabin arrangement. It's not that heavy. It's got a cat engine in it, but otherwise it's just a sleeper cab. So even across the twin steer, without anything else on it, you've only got about 6.8, maybe 7.2 ton with the full tanks. Now, if I was to put a underlift on the rear of this with potentially a 1.5 meter overhang to be able to carry up 7-8 ton on the Stinger, that would have taken too much weight off the front. We may have managed with the right configuration, but it wouldn't have been ideal. However, in this business and across my other businesses, we have learned that a good large capacity HIAB, or should I call knuckle-boom, is also something that comes very handy. And of course, if you're going to plunk it just behind the cabin, that's another 6.5 ton weight that is distributed between the drives and the steers. And in fact, in this case, we have by now maximized the steer capacity, and that means that we got as much weight forward as possible. Now this one is a PM 4025, which is a 40 ton meter newer model crane, very similar to in capacity and lift capacity, or almost identical to my EFA 43 ton meter unit on the other 8x4 Argosy. So this time we have purchased the truck and crane separately, obviously, so the subframe is not yet built on it. So far we have just put the crane on the chassis, partially to determine its position, and also so that it can travel to the fabricator where the whole lot will be eventually put together. Everything is massive on this crane. The cylinder volume, all the pins are just huge. So whether it is a recovery or anything else, a large crane definitely comes handy, just like a rotator would be handy. So this truck will have a turntable on the rear on top of the subframe, and that will allow us to hook up to a DTU, a detachable towing unit. I'm more than likely going to grab a Holmes unit from Miller and Truckworks in South Australia, with actually a custom or modified Stinger, having used to the knee booms 55 Stinger, which is extremely long with low profile reach. You don't want to give that up with any other smaller unit. So some of those items will be to be determined, but it will have a sliding turntable on it, which we already have, and therefore it will also be able to hook into a trailer. This truck I particularly would like to go in front of our SuperTilt as well. So long distance SuperTilt assisted with a crane is a very good option, and in addition to that, hook up to a DTU and do some underlift work as well. Well, let's see how she comes up. I'll update you guys soon.